tell you what, after this past Saturday, I kind of thought Syracuse was going to go bowling. It would be a kind of a pretty good accomplishment for Scott Shaper in his first year as Orange's head coach. Well, we have to wait one more week, and we have to wait until the final week. 'Cause you want to know something? We had a pretty darn good shot against our pesky rivals who followed us from the Big East to the ACC. I'm talking about the Pitt Panthers. It was what I expected it to be, a pretty good physical game between two old rivals. And the thing is, up until that one of that final plays, it was just what I expected. Neither team showing a lot of offensive output, although I will congratulate Alvin Cornelius, showing why he could be a good Orange receiver of the future with a pretty touchdown catch from Terrell Hunt. And of course, the Orange were getting a little thin at wide receiver. Heck, Darrell Eskridge was even thrown in there, and he nearly caught a touchdown pass, but he couldn't reel in the hot potato. Of course, you know how them things can burn your hands, Eskridge. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Of course, Quinta didn't show he could Funderburk on that catch there that was nullified. And of course, what about that field goal attempt? We knew that 53 yards was kind of out of the range, and the thing is, they had that fake field goal set up beautifully. Loeb threw that to Kendall Moore, who kind of broke out like, oh, he was just another person on that field goal attempt. And Moore had a wide open road to the end zone. But of course, Christ had to ice us. You know, of course I kind of wonder. We're inside the dome. It's 70, 75 degrees. How could they ice you? Except for taking it out of the thing for your drink. But I digress. Very next play, Hunt throws an incompletion, and the Orange have to wait till this week, after Thanksgiving, to try to go bowling. 'Cause it's against another one of our old friends. An old friend who left the Big East about 10 years ago, and now is an old friend again for us on the gridiron. I'm talking about those Catholics from Chestnut Hill, the Boston College Eagles. Of course, I have to say, it always is pretty good whenever Boston College and Notre Dame play, the two Catholic universities that play major college football, 'cause they call it the Holy War. Although that could be said for Utah and BYU, 'cause both are predominantly Mormon universities. But you know, it's good to see two old rivals like the Orange and the Eagles go at it. And it's also good for the Orange to go against one of its former coaches. Steve Adazio was a coach when Paul Pasqualoni was at Syracuse. Adazio went on to go to Notre Dame, be an assistant coach at Florida. Then for about 3 years was the coach at Temple before he became the coach this year at Boston College. Of course, last year in the season finale, we beat Adazio and the Owls. Now can we beat Adazio and the Eagles? Of course, you know how them birds can be. Me too. Of course, there's no Miller Lite to advertise for that. But what the hey? With one more win, we're 6-6, we're bowl eligible. Then we'll see where we're gonna go for the Christmas season. And also I should say, speaking of holidays, the Orange basketball team is in Maui this week for the Maui Invitational. Of course, last week, you know, they played in the Maui suburb of Syracuse and just barely got past St. Francis of Brooklyn. Well, they took good care of some Golden Gophers. Now let's see if they can take care of some Golden Bears. And of course, the day before Thanksgiving's the championship game. But we'll see what happens. The Orange are off to a good start in the Maui Invitational. And hopefully we won't have to run into a team known as Chaminade. Of course, you know what happened 30 years ago. That little team beat the number 1 ranked Virginia Cavaliers led by Ralph Sampson. Boy, that brought back some memories, didn't it? whatever. Good luck to the Orange basketball team out in Hawaii. And now, also, I'll say good luck to the Buffalo Bills as they start the stretch run of their season. This Sunday, they take on Atlanta in the Buffalo suburb known as Toronto. Yeah, that's right. It's the annual game north of the border, up in, as they call it, the mausoleum, known as Rogers Center. Of course, since when did the Rogers Center become a mausoleum? Yeah, it is cavernous in there. Yeah, it's a retractable roof. And yeah, it's in the shadow of a needle, i.e. the CN Tower. But the thing is, 25 years ago, it was considered a state-of-the-art stadium. But now, some people kind of call it a white elephant. Ushered in a new era of kind of bland stadiums. Of course, a couple of years later, the retro feel returned with Camden Yards open, and that type of stadium took off. Well, almost 25 years later, the Rogers Center, formerly known as the Sky Dome, now kind of looks obsolete. And of course, a lot of the Bills fan base is from Southern Ontario. But of course, rumors persisted a few days ago that whenever the Bills team does go up for sale, hey, John Bon Jovi might be interested. Oh, that would be something. John Bon Jovi owning an NFL team. Of course, he is a man with a great character and certain values. But I don't know. He doesn't give love a bad name. He's been married to his high school sweetheart for nearly 25 years. But of course, you don't know. Maybe the Bon Jovi and the Bills fans may be living on a prayer if he becomes the owner of the team. But you know, he would bring a certain notoriety to the Bills that they've been lacking for quite a while. But whatever. Good luck to the Bills on the remainder of their season. And I also want to talk about this new fad that seems to be going on with teens. It's some French name for the thing that they do where they go leaping from building to building, from ledge to ledge, supposedly inspired by James Bond and also Jason Bourne. Reports surfaced that in California, one teen was seriously injured doing this. Yeah, I know it's a good way to show off that you're an acrobat, and also that you're loose-limbed, and also that you have no brains. Whatever. What'll teens come up with next? Of course, I'm 42, I'd be lucky to leap from a few inches to another. Boy, I kind of wonder whether I'd plummet, you know. Yeah! What's the cause of death? Oh, he only leapt a couple of inches. Well, whatever. What are teens gonna come up with next? And I finally want to talk about what's going on here. Are the AMAs becoming more popular than the Grammys, or more important than the Grammys now? This past Sunday night was the American Music Awards. And the thing is, you got to see all these newfangled acts in all of their splendor. Heck, you got to see Lady Gaga, you got to see Pitbull, you got to see Taylor Swift, you got to see all the others go up there, sing their way, and get the awards. That would cause a hole in your colon if you ever fall on them. As you know, they're really pointy. Of course, what can you do if you fall on a Grammy? Of course, you could flatten it. Of course, I digress. But of course, Miley Cyrus again had to show off a unusual outfit, and she also had to show off that she could have a cat mime her vocals behind her. You gotta wonder, do you really need a putty cat to mime your vocals, or do you really need a putty cat to cry? You know? They call it twerking, the kind of thing that she's doing now. Well, you know, she is a twerk, so to say. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story for this week.